Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Or if you're new here, welcome to another edition of Kingly Conversations. Hey, this week we got another hot one for you. But before we get into all of that, Zoe has some shout outs.
Yeah, what up? You know what time it is. Hey, happy belated Thanksgiving. I hope everyone had a great time. And shout out to all the fathers out there that didn't get that phone call.
All right. Hey, this week we're getting to it about the N word. Let the Kings talk about it. All right, good people. Hey, welcome back to another edition of Kingly Conversations, man. And as I am every single week, I'm Alan.
Yo, what up? It's your boy Twine. You know what time it is. Ask me about my podcast, man. Let's go.
It's your friend, your mentor, Calvin D. Hill. Now, hold on. Why didn't the fathers get the phone call? Why? What's happening right now? We're going to get to the topic, but I got to deal with this.
I think
Why?
there is a worldwide spread of hatred against the fathers. And I feel for you.
Okay. Let's move on. That did it. Thank you. Today's topic. They don't hate fathers. That's not the topic. That's not the topic. That's not the topic.
That's
But
not the topic.
he adding up. All right. So today's topic, I did it because I got a problem with it. I do.
Let's go. What's the topic?
The N word.
Negligence?
No, not negligence. Not negotiations. Not never.
Not now.
Not near another.
Okay.
It's nigga.
Oh, wow.
I'm tired of that word. I've always had a problem with the word, but in our culture and in our society, it's acceptable. Why is that? I don't like it. I'm telling you just straight up. I don't like the word.
Okay.
Even though blacks have adopted it, I don't like it. Why? Why are we using it?
First of all, let's get down to why you don't like it.
Because it's a derogatory term. It's a term that was made in America to basically call black people dumb, ignorant, stupid, whatever. All of the trash words you can sum up into one when you call them a nigga. Mm-hmm. That is why I have a problem. So, why do we still use it?
I mean, I can't tell you why we still use it. I mean, it's still certainly widely used.
Yeah.
And it was widely used. I mean, so because I know at some point in time, I didn't read the notes yet, but at some point in time, somebody could certainly point to rap music or something like that, but it was around before then. Otherwise, the rappers wouldn't have used it.
Right. But it's fed to us still, even in the music. And I hate it in the music. I'm just being honest. That's just me.
So, y'all opinion, do you think the N-word is anti-Semitic?
No. Because it was attached to blacks. It wasn't attached to Jews or anything like that.
Okay.
That's why.
So, being that the word is is used as a slander for anyone outside of the culture, but is used as a empowerment tool for those who are in it, for some. Because at one point, the word was taken and tried to, and black people tried to make it something more than what it was.
Right.
So it took away the power, the negative energy that when somebody called them that, it was like, hey, so you said it, but how you said it was in a derogatory way. But when I say it, it's like, yo, what's up?
It's still the same thing to me. It's stupid.
Okay.
It just cut dry. It's real simple. I don't agree with it. Even though, like you said,
the
we try to
people
use
who
it.
try to take the word and make it something more than just a slander. They wanted to use it as a form of empowerment. You saying that's stupid too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Should have let it die.
You should have let it die.
Should have let it die. And we use it now in our culture. It's not going anywhere. It's going to be there for a long time. We use it as a camaraderie, as brotherhood, fraternity, or whatever else. That, again, I don't agree. I think that's foolish.
So we need to use the word Negro instead of nigger.
No, or just get rid of it. I mean, either way, get rid of it. No, because Negro,
But in order to get rid of something,
black,
you have to use something to replace it, right?
And I understand that fact too.
Okay.
But I don't have a word to replace a negative word for blacks.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So when you out here, behind closed doors, and you stump your pinky toe.
I don't say that. I don't say never. No, I don't say that. Say? Ouch. But
I don't
again,
know.
really.
Like, who is? I mean, I know we got the video of the lady after she dropped her wig, but
that was funny.
like, I ain't nobody stubbing their toes like, oh,
yeah,
like what?
Yeah,
nobody.
Okay.
Well, I mean, maybe you.
But again, I think that's a culture thing because even that young lady when the wigs did slide off, and she was like, I was like, okay, I get it. It's a culture thing. We've adopted it in our culture, and that's I get it. I understand. I'm not mad at nobody. I just think we should have let it die a long time ago. But like I said, we used it, we took it, we made it an empowerment tool. But it's like women calling each other bees. I feel like that's kind of foolish, but
They call themselves that.
I know that's my point. That is my point. I don't like it. I'm just saying.
I'm a baddie.
Right.
I'm a baddie. How's it? I
You
censor
know,
myself.
Kmart censors.
I censor myself. Yeah.
Man, them Kmart's used to be terrible back in the day.
Okay. All right. So like I said, I wanted to understand why, because your perspective, a lot of people do have that, but it's more of the older generation.
Yeah, and I fall in with that.
Yeah, the newer generation, they have been indoctrinated with it. So,
Which is always weird, because we got the word from you. If y'all had stopped using the word, we would have stopped using the word. It's not like the word we didn't all of a sudden, the only reason the word is probably more popular now is because our culture is more popular now.
And that's true.
that is true.
Because popular culture is black culture in most cases.
Right.
So whatever we're doing, that's what's going to be out in the forefront. That's what's going to be pushed. But in the 50s, 40s, the culture stayed within the culture.
Right.
Because we didn't
export use that as an empowerment. In the 40s, okay, you talking about your grand.
I'm talking about the word. I'm talking about using
culture.
the word itself.
I didn't see that as an empowerment. My parents and
Your
my
people-
grandparents never taught me that word as an empowerment, as a camaraderie.
I didn't say they
as a
taught it.
brotherhood.
But
It was never used. It wasn't used like that.
Yeah.
That was never done. So for me, it's like y'all still doing that.
Yours.
You're yours, and that's the problem. I get it. No, I get it.
Because I can't say that somebody in rural Virginia or rural Florida, that if you grew up in from where we live, you grew up in Franklin or something like that in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, no, probably not. But if you grew up in Baltimore, you grew up in D.C., or you grew up in New York City,
and stuff, right.
Yeah, then absolutely they would have been using the word. You grew up in Chicago, you grew up in Tulsa before they bombed it to death, all of these places where there were high concentrations of people living close together, all of those places are going to develop their own unique culture, and nobody can. If the word didn't exist then, it wouldn't exist in its form now.
Okay, so that's the case. That's fact.
That's why it always bothers me when older people are like, "Well, we shouldn't be using the word." Well, tell that to your brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
And your aunts and uncles that was out there at the juke joint using the word.
At the juke joint.
You know, out there looking like the painting.
Oh wow.
But even at that case, even at that, knowing the origin of it, you still feel like, okay, that's cool. We still gonna ride with it. We good with it. Don't worry about it.
Well, I'm not saying we should or shouldn't. I'm saying that the problem you have with living so far removed from the history of a thing, there's a whole lot of things we shouldn't be doing based on the history of the thing that we do.
Yeah. History, that word has been used since back when it's been a while since that word. It was created by the French when they started exploring and they saw the black people and they called them that word just because of the definition behind it. Because if you look at the breakdown of the word, English, Latin, and
in all the Latin languages,
yeah.
there was going to be the word was going to be some form of NEG,
right?
Negro,
and whatever
Negro.
came after that.
Niger, Neger, Niger, and Negro. So there's since the late 16th century. So that word has been around for a while, sir.
Yeah, but even today we use it as
Yeah, but
NIGGA. That means you my friend, you my
nigga.
that's what you are. It's like I don't use that a lot.
Okay, I understand. So there are people out there I mentioned they try to use that word as an empowerment, but there's also some people that see the word and it doesn't have any meaning to them at all.
Right.
So you can say the word all day, and they are comfortable with other cultures outside of the African American community to say it because they don't really give that word any power. So they whatever you could say that anytime.
Yeah, but
you
why
want
do
to
some
around me.
why do some sit there like you in a workplace or something like that, and somebody white come up and they're like, hey, man, you got an attitude, you mad, but you playing the music right beside them, they use it all day long. What's up?
Again, that's not the type of person that I'm referring to.
That's my point. That's kind of like my argument. It's like, okay, you're using it and you don't expect other people to use it in the term that is being said. That is my problem. It's like that's a double standard.
That's a
like,
power that they hold. That's in their mind. That's a power they hold on to. I can say it, but you can't.
That's foolish.
Well, but see, in that regard,
I don't want to say power.
It isn't just us, because there are certainly, if you're not inside, and I don't even know that they use it for themselves, but if you're not inside of the Italian community, there are words you can't use.
Okay.
If you're not inside the Jewish community, there's words you can't use. All types of things you can't say. So why is it when it comes to policing yourself, censoring yourself for other communities, you can do that, but then you can't do it for the black community?
Yeah.
So my thing is, just don't be hypocritical. Like, if you're not going to use derogatory terms for people that are Italian, for people that are Irish, for people in the Jewish community, for people in all of the Asian community, whether it's Filipino, whether it's people from China, Taiwan, wherever they're from, if you cannot do it everywhere else, why not here?
Right.
That's all. When people are saying like, well, this person at work also, y'all need to just start firing people at work. But
no, because you're playing it on the radio.
Get rid of that junk.
No,
burn it.
No, he good to go. Let him play it. And the funny thing, the white dudes at my job play it more than I do. I don't even play it. They play it.
Well, that's because Lecrae ain't using it. Bizzle is. Bizzle used to, but Lecrae ain't using it.
In regards of context, does it matter?
To me, no. To me, it's just because I don't like the word. I don't use it. I don't. Do I tolerate it and let it slide? Yeah, obviously. But no. But you talking to me too, because I don't even.
Wait a minute.
I don't even cuss like that.
What do you mean? Let it slide?
Like if the people using it around me and talking like we just in general, and like, hey, what's up, blah blah. All right. I don't be like, hey, stop! Don't use that word. Yeah, shut up. I don't act like that. I ain't that crazy. yeah.
Okay.
I just
Wait till you
let it
turn
ride.
50. Then you're gonna be that crazy.
Okay.
Hey, no, when I turn 50, y'all gonna have a problem on your hands. Everybody.
Man, we already got a problem on our hands,
Good.
man. Stop it.
Good. Good. Y'all
I
understand.
like it. Okay.
But in context, like you said, and most of the time, you're not offended coming from another black person, but you're offended coming from somebody of another culture. That's, again, just stop using it.
But again,
Right?
I would offer that every culture does the same thing.
Yeah. And I get that.
Now, the only difference is you don't really get in any trouble if you inside the culture generally using derogatory terms. Because I can distinctly remember one of our us-muck brethren, using derogatory terms with his people. And nobody batted an eye. Just like, oh, okay. All right. But he was also one of these, build a wall people. So,
Oh Lord.
and I'm like,
I
How'd
got
you get
a
in?
coworker that was on that, and he said, "I would have." You know what? That's offline. I ain't gonna say that.
Now-
Because go ahead.
now listen, I'm one of those people that, hey, listen, you can say whatever you want to say, as long as you're willing to accept the consequences of that free speech.
But that's not.
No, but then
As
you got
long
people
as you're
suing
willing to
people.
accept the consequences.
But the thing is, with that word, some people try to use it as a trigger word.
Right.
For sure.
Right. So why are you going to let that be your trigger word, but you use it all the time?
Well, that's a good question.
That's what I'm saying. That's stupid.
Again, that goes back to saying I can say it because I'm black, but you can't, and you better not say it.
Yeah, that never made sense to me.
And will. I'm just saying that's just how it is. It's been that way for so long since we so-called got the freedoms and liberties.
So-called freedoms.
So-called freedoms. So now that word,
I did so-called become derogatory every time it's used.
so-called. So
Your
now
so-called table.
now it's become a taboo thing where, hey, I can say it, you can't.
No, in 2023, everybody can say it. Free game.
I don't think so.
I do.
Well, for you and your perspective, but I guarantee if somebody up and call you something like that, you would not.
No,
you would not take it.
that don't
lightly.
bother me.
Okay,
that
whatever.
don't bother me
Calvin.
because I'm not going to wait. Yes,
Calvin,
listen,
stop it.
I'm not going to wait until somebody call me an N-word to feel like I got to put hands on them.
Said I'm coming with the aggression early.
Right.
What? As soon as it's like we talk.
So I don't need
around
that.
here
I don't
any-
need that. I don't need you to. Oh, you are. Man, no, you ain't got to act like that. I'm gonna slap you anyway. That's not a problem. It's not an issue. Just because you say something. I said what I said.
He said what he said.
Nope.
Oh, so you think your boy? So you think your boy is gonna get madder because somebody called me the N-word?
Well, first of all, is matter a word?
Madder.
I mean,
Okay, all right, we're doing this.
Madder than I was when we started.
Well, first of all, I know you are someone that doesn't like to be disrespected in any form or fashion.
Okay, so you think it's gonna have to be a certain word to make me all of a sudden? No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So your friends that's outside of the culture, we'll just say the culture.
Yeah.
You good with it?
They know they never use it. Cause the people that deal with me, especially outside of 3 o'clock, they know one, Calvin don't even cuss like that.
Okay.
So he don't even talk a certain way. So you know he. 2, if Calvin gonna put his hands on you, he gonna put his hands on you for anything.
Gotcha.
So I'm not gonna get like that
Okay.
for the N-word.
Okay.
Cause it's on the music. It's everywhere. Like I said.
But you don't listen to that music, so
right? And people that know me know that.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. I just see you on a bad day. That word might be like, you know what?
I don't
Come
need
here.
an
Let me
excuse.
talk to
I don't
you.
need it. To me, that's an excuse.
what if it's people that, what if it's people that don't know you like that?
I
I
don't
wanted
need
to
no
smack
excuse.
you anyway.
I don't need no excuse.
What if it's people that don't know you like that?
Yeah.
They'll find out. I mean, how y'all put it, man?
Wait, whoa. So, okay, I don't want to linger on this anymore. You said they're gonna find out.
Yes,
If they see,
because
now,
I'm an excellent teacher and I'm an excellent communicator. I would politely remove myself from the situation. If you follow me, whatever happens, happens. I'm not.
okay.
I can defend myself if I need.
Ladies and gentlemen, the N word. Of course, we talked about it being in the music. It is super saturated. So if you are in that culture of hip hop and R&B, you ain't escaping that word. And I guess that if you hear it repeatedly throughout the day, it's going to be something
Systematically
that is
over time.
okay. It's going to be something that you will use. Personally, I am one of those who the word does not have power, so I don't care about the word. So as far as other people saying it and me saying it, it don't bother me, yeah.
Okay. Alan, does it bother you?
Dun, dun, dun.
Right, see, here it go. Here it go. Which one?
All right, I'm listening. What's
Alan?
up?
When does it bother me?
Somebody used the N word called Alan. You an N.
Well, no, I was.
No,
Hey,
no,
listen,
no.
Now, see,
No,
now you over here escalating.
No,
now you escalate
because again, Alan, somebody called you yellow shirt. No, now what?
No.
Wait,
Why? No, because it's the same word. It's the same word. It don't change. It don't matter. It's the same word.
We just talked about context though.
But Alan just said, I asked him, does he have a problem with the word?
Okay. So you added on to it. You specified it.
Okay. I specified the context of how we're going to use it for Alan.
Let's go, Huey.
Yeah.
So
right. Because if it were Huey and them didn't use it like that. Go ahead.
they did not. I guess the question would be, is the word being used as an adjective
Or now.
or a noun?
Oh my God.
If the word is being used as an adjective, I'm generally okay with that. If the word is being used as a noun, meaning attached to a person and not necessarily an act, a descriptor,
Right.
then, yes.
Okay.
So it's all in how you use it with Alan.
Context, yeah.
Context.
Okay. So there has been many people. I'm sorry.
But also, I would also say that is because
What?
I am because context matters. I would also say in that context, culture matters because I can say so and so was acting like,
Yeah.
and we know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily say so and so is.
All right.
Oh, he got tendencies.
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
So so it's one of those. It's one of those words that. Do you want to use a paragraph or a single word to describe the activity that is taking place?
All right. You remember that comment, what, about 6-7 years ago? Years ago, he just snapped off and was like, hey, he's acting like a, he just going off on stage. It was a comment.
Oh, the guy from Seinfeld.
Yeah. And he was flipping out.
Yeah.
And he kept saying it, kept using it. Were you offended by that moment?
I didn't even know it happened.
Oh, well, it did. But would you be offended if somebody was using it like that? Same word. He's using it as a descriptive.
Adjective.
Right.
Or no, he said
No,
Adjective.
No, he's acting like a such and such. That's a noun, isn't it?
Yeah, but everybody went off. Everybody lost their mind because he was white.
Or actually, I think he's.
Where was I at 6 or 7 years ago?
That was
I don't
only
even
years
remember
ago.
this
That
at all.
happened years ago, man.
I don't remember this at all.
Yeah, he
I might
flipped
go
out on
look it
stage. Yeah, look that one up. He was going off on
Jerry
stage.
Seinfeld?
Was it? I don't know who it was. It was a guy from the show though. He was. From the
his
show.
name was from the show.
Yeah.
So it was the main character.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the main characters.
Yeah, everybody got all mad because he was like, he's acting like a nigger.
His name was.
Yeah.
Was he doing that hand
Michael
symbol at the
Richards.
same time?
Yeah.
He was.
Michael Richards is his name.
Oh, so
Yeah.
not Jerry Seinfeld.
No,
Who the heck is
no,
Michael
because
Richards?
it was at the comedy club, whatever comedy club.
Yeah,
Uptown Comedy Club.
there he is. Michael Richards. This guy. And he went off on stage.
Yeah.
Stand up joint.
Okay, I mean, no wonder I didn't know. He looked like a non-factor type of person.
Well,
But
And that's
I didn't
how
know
you do
about
it,
it, so.
Calvin. You dismiss him.
I didn't know about
and
it at all.
That's what Calvin does. I dismiss all of it.
I didn't know
So-
about it at all. So that's
Yeah.
why I don't have an opinion on that one yet because I don't know. Generally speaking, though, my thing is you as a person living, you should know the things you can and can't do. So I probably would have had a problem with it, yes, but it's because I'm not gonna get on stage and start
Right.
saying and using slurs against other people.
Right.
But it's to me, it's if you as an Italian person want to use slurs talking about Italian people, that's not my fight.
Right.
That's not my fight. I'm not inside of that community. So I think, so that's where I'm generally at. If you're not inside the community, then you can't use those terms. And I think the problem that we have is everybody just wants to say, "Well, I'm free to do what I want." Yeah, you free to catch these hands too. So just remember that when you're free to do what you want.
What did Bill Cosby say about the word?
He was encouraging the black community to stop using it, and he got bashed for that.
Yeah.
Well, that probably wasn't the only reason. Cosby had a whole lot of.
That was before his.
Yeah, it was before that, but I remember that. But I'm just because Cosby had a whole lot of stuff to say at the time. I think it might have been the same about black fathers and all this other stuff. So it probably was more. But
It was taken the wrong. It was.
well,
taken the
I
wrong-
think it was because it's one of those things where it's about how you approach the topic. And I think sometimes, especially as people get older, they don't care about how they say it. They don't care about handling situations delicately. They just are like, man, I'm old.
I'm old.
And they forget what they were like
But that's-
when they were in their 20s and 30s.
Okay, so in your youth, were y'all using the word?
Yeah.
Yes.
So is it a pattern to
I
where
mean, I used
when
to
you
rap, so that it was going to get used.
That was a rap.
So it's a pattern then. When you're young, it's cool, but when you get older, you see
It wasn't cool then. You were just doing it, just to be doing it.
I mean, like everything,
It's like
everybody
the
else
trend,
around you
like,
doing.
right? The trends at the time and stuff like that.
So to me, that's a pattern.
Yeah.
Like as you get older, it's like, all right, you know what? That word may not be the best of use.
It could be. I could be getting old. Yeah,
I think
I could be getting old.
you are.
could
You,
be.
you're
I could
middle
be.
aged, sir. You are middle aged.
I mean, only because you ain't got no
I'm
gray
young
hairs.
as I feel.
You ain't got no gray hairs?
None.
You's a lie. I see him from
7.
way over here. 7. Every hair on your head shall be covered. Let's go. I'm sorry.
And I think that's probably true though, because I think when you are younger, you have a tendency to think less about, or at least growing up up until probably the 2000s. Really, you had a tendency to think less about what you did and how it affected other people. But as society started to shift, you couldn't then like kids now can't afford to not think about, because they're in the public eye all the time. You can't afford not to think about what you do to others. Because any of the stuff that happened when I was in high school, there's no video footage. There was no social media. There's no video. There was no Twitter. There's no commentary. Nobody can say, like now, if you in school, half the fights probably on Twitter. Whereas there were some knockdown dragouts when I was in high school, and the only people that know about them were the people that was there.
I'm glad.
Wow, that's good, y'all crazy. But so I think that's part of why the conversation comes up more often now, is because it's, whereas it might have been that your friend Billy might have used it and then been corrected. Now Billy is on Instagram instead of just being on the basketball court or just being with one or two people. Now he's on Instagram, and now it's out there forever. So I think that is now. It's not to say it wasn't being used, but now there's no one-to-one correction. Now it's out on social media. So now you got the entire globe correcting you on it.
Yeah.
So
the whole problem.
I just had a random thought about the cancel culture. Why haven't that been incorporated in their agenda?
Because building and strengthening the black community isn't on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, and so I mean that's
as
the
long as
truth.
we can keep you talking negative to each other, we ain't got to worry about you trying to come up or unifying or do anything productive.
The only time
Y'all keep tearing each other down, and we're gonna keep it that way. We're gonna keep it in your music. Tear each other down in music.
Negro, please.
Yep.
You ready for this?
I'm just joking. Go ahead.
The only time so-called cancel culture
I'm listening.
it comes up is when it is a person outside of that community.
That's when it becomes an issue.
That's when it becomes an issue, and that's because it's only because of the people I follow and the conversations that they're having. Because there is within, like, we know there is colorism within inside of the black community, but there is also colorism within inside the Asian community, colorism within inside the Dominican community, colorism inside the Mexican community. So we're all dealing with the same issues. The only reason we're not as aware is because we're not inside those communities. However, we are also, as people, more collaborative, so we're less likely to, in these generations, less likely to use derogatory terms for other communities than we may have been when it was normal to use these words.
Gotcha.
Closing comments.
In closing, stop using it or keep using it. Go.
It ain't going nowhere. People going.
No,
our
no,
coach is
I
still
didn't-
going.
I
I
didn't-
don't want
I
you to
didn't
use it. I
ask.
said no.
Okay.
Get rid
All
of
right,
it.
there you
Bye. Don't say it. But is it going anywhere? Absolutely not. It'll be
Got
there
it.
to the end of time.
I don't give the power to the word. I don't care either way. If we use it, whatever. If we don't, if we lose it, whatever.
I mean, ultimately, I think that people should stop using all slurs across the board, not just the N-word, but all. I think really people should stop using all of them, but that's not.
So much hatred in the world.
It's not, well, it's what it is.
It is what it is.
So I think that really is where I stand. People should stop using all of them in all of their forms, but certainly because I'm inside of this community, we should tone down the usage, and eventually toning down the usage could lead to eliminating the word from the English language
I'm
altogether.
going to stop using it.
No, you ain't.
Yes, I am.
All right, let's go.
For me, it's like everything. I use it for effect.
Right, some things just got sound better with a little seasoning on it.
Yeah, like, you know, if and for those people out there that are parents, because I'm not, but I have one thing I have realized is that children will, even if you don't curse, children will test you.
Oh, there you go.
Like if you ain't cursed in 20 years and somebody does, you like, oh, don't keep it down, please, Lord help me, Lord Jesus.
Hey, man, that happened last night.
Boy.
Last night, man. Let's end this before I go off.
I don't know how they know. So that's why I say, hey, you know, I get it. Sometimes you don't have another word that fits. Because my parents did not curse at me often, but when they did, I knew it was a serious situation.
Yeah. All right, that's it, man.
All right, man.
We'll holler at y'all.
We'll see y'all next week.
Yeah. Oh, like that. Oh. Hey.